Hi, boys. It's Tuesday evening. We've got the boys in town. This is Let's Talk Sports. Let's talk. Let the Mayhem begin. Boom! Boys are back. It's Tuesday evening. It's football time. It's the Mayhem. We have got a hell of a show today. We are expecting some strong words, so I think it's safe to say parental guidance may be needed for those. And please, if you have
to get that one out early, I think definitely.
If you have a sensitive disposition, you may want to look away now because it's not been the best of weeks for you, G-Man. How are you feeling?
Well, I see the back of my wall.
The flags have gone.
Everything's gone.
Everything's gone.
I mean, you don't want to start off your morning with West Ham breaking news that your team is divided in the locker room because they're sick of Moyes and everything that he's done tactically. And that game was just awful. I mean, we have a chance to bounce back in the UEFA Conference League, but I am just not happy at the moment with anything with West Ham. We're not playing Scamacca. We're bringing them on like the freaking 80th minute, I feel like.
Game's already done and dusted, right?
Exactly. Like, I love what Ings is bringing to the table. I love what Paqueta is bringing to the table. Rice, Souček has a revival now. Emerson's starting to pick it up again. But Ben Rama's been our best player all season. So, and finally, Areola's in there. I think he's way better than Fabianski. I want him to get consistent minutes. But right now, it's a shit show. I'm not really worried about getting relegated. I really am not. I'm more worried about what's this team going to look like in the next couple months. I want to know if Moyes is going to get done. I want to know if this team can have the extra strength and heart to not get relegated. We're only 1 point behind in the bottom three.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm worried about. I hope we can get it together and just conquer through because this team deserves to be in the Premier League.
It does, but I mean, it's always one of those. West Ham, when they're in this scenario, you always hear the old story of, West Ham are too good a team to go down. And sometimes do they believe that themselves? Is that like we'll get out of it somehow, some way, whatever, luck into it, whatever else. It's run of form at the moment stinks. And, as you say, the Guardian newspaper, rumors and rumblings of dissent in the locker room, the players not being happy about what sort of formation and how he's picking the team and whatnot. That cannot continue. I know he seems to be getting the, dreaded vote of confidence, if you like, but is that because it's just a holding pattern till the end of the season now that obviously there's a potential change in the boardroom? Are they looking to sell up? Are they just kind of looking for stability? But if there's stable and then there's stable decline, and it seems like you're in that sort of I can't see a way out for you guys at the moment. I can't see where you're going to get a result.
There is no stability. There's no excitement for this team right now. There's no heart. I mean, look at my back wall. There's no heart. I got no heart. I can wear all the memorabilia I want. I can wear all the sporting gear I want. But right now, all West Ham is suffering right now. This is not the time to get into so many fights. We're in March. This thing ends in May. We got almost 2.5 months left. This is the time to pick up your crap, get it together, Moyes. I don't know what the heck the front office, the GMs, the sporting directors see in Moyes right now. I understand what you did last year. I get it. You took us out of relegation again with Pellegrini. I get all that. Even 2 years ago too. But overall, I'm done. I'm done what I'm seeing. Get me another coach in here. I don't think it even hurts to put Noble in there right now. It doesn't even hurt at this point, you know?
A little bit of player manager, well, like not even a
Yeah.
player manager, but just, you know, an ex-player who can rile it up, maybe bring him in as an assistant just to get some life back in the team.
And we're overdue for trophies. I really think we're going to be fine in the conference league. I have a lot of confidence that we can make it at least the semifinal or final to win maybe. But as for the Premier League, I really hope and wish that we just don't drown. I don't want to drown. I don't want to.
Just looking around you, I mean, you're right in it though, aren't you? I mean, Southampton have kind of snuck a couple of wins and a couple of results for Southampton.
Right.
You're starting to. I mean, the only benefit you've got is Everton have played a game more than you, but you're right in there. There's nothing between you and Wolves. So from 13 downwards, you're all in the mix.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. When you look at the Premier League, and I'm looking at the standings right now, when you look at these bottom 7 teams, like Everton, Southampton, Bournemouth, they all deserve to go down. Yeah. They all hands down. Leeds, West Ham, Leicester City, Nottingham Forest, Wolves, and Crystal Palace, we deserve to be up here. But here's the thing out of those teams and the difference between that and West Ham, we should definitely be 17th. These teams should definitely be more up because of the playing style and what they're doing and how they're playing right now. Everyone got better in the January transfer window as well. So it's going to be very close. It's going to be very tight, and it sucks.
Yeah, I think the lifeline you've got is that Leicester are in free fall worse than you guys almost.
Right.
And I think it's likely that they may be without a manager before you are, which
yeah, and then you can't deny what Crystal Palace is doing too. Crystal Palace haven't been good. They've lost and tied and lost again their last 5 games. I mean, the only teams I think you can actually say that are coming into form out of those teams is actually either us or Leeds.
Yeah. Forest have picked up a fair few points.
And Wolves are too, but like we've been talking about, it's just going to be tight.
It's just going to be scrappy, and everybody's just kind of nicking points off of each other. What you kind of want is, I don't know what your fixtures are like going forward, but you need to be getting. There's going to be some of those the cliched 6-pointers are going to be coming up, right? Where you're going to have to beat Leeds, you're going to have to beat West Ham.
Right.
You're going to. Those are going to be like the big games coming up soon.
Right.
You win one of those and you push them further down. That might just be enough. And then, as you say, concentrate on the Europa Conference League and maybe look at pushing ahead, trying to get a silverware, trying to get a trophy or a final at least, just to kind of give the fans something.
And not only that, I mean, our schedule is not that bad. It is not that bad coming up, but we do play Man City again. We play Newcastle again. We'll have to face against Fulham again. But we got some winnable games, but at the same time, it's just going to be tough because you don't know if they're having a good week or a good day. It's just everything's going to be tough. Everything is going to come down to that last game of the season.
It always does. It always does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like relegation dogfights are kind of weird, though, right? Like,
it's winnable.
Like sometimes,
though. It's winnable, though. I think we're going to be fine, but we still got. It's like 50-50. It's 50-50. Sorry, Matty, go on. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I feel like relegation dogfights are so weird, right? Like, I think obviously everybody wants to see that, style of play from their team that they want to see, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I think sometimes when you're down there, like sometimes you don't necessarily need to be playing this sort of flary, expansive football. You just need the job done. Like however that gets done, whether it's pulled out of somewhere and it's just a real sort of in the trenches, dogfighty type football. And I guess that's the thing.
You need Big Sam back.
Yeah, like I don't necessarily have that much faith in Davy Moyes, but if there's one person that I feel like knows how to play a scrappy game of football, it's maybe Davy Moyes. Like, I don't know. I feel like the West Ham situation is weird, but like you said, I think you guys have definitely got the quality and should stay up. But yeah, I think it's so tight down there. Like it's very, very coin flippy at the moment as to like who ends up where. Yeah,
as you say, you look at it and you think, well, in form and everything else, Everton, Southampton, Bournemouth probably deserve. They've not been good all season. They probably, as the 3, should go down. But It is March. There's still how many games are left? Still 16 games.
Yeah, isn't it
something around
16?
that?
I thought it was 16, 17 maybe.
16.
We're
so
27, match day 27. So,
so what is it? 40 games? No, 38 games, isn't it?
Jesus,
So
yes, it's
38
about,
games. That's correct.
about
38 games.
14 to 13 games.
13
each
to
team
14
left.
games left. So, it's going to very quickly come down to like nip and tuck. But, all it takes,
we're
look
wrong.
down there.
11 games.
11 and 10 games now, is it? So
38 minus 27, right?
Yeah, so 10 or 11 games, depending
11.
on this.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
depending on this, because some teams have played more than others with.
And postponement. West Ham have a postpone against Man City, so there's going to be a lot of postponement too.
There's going to be lots of floats around, and so
Yeah.
it will go down to like the last month, and it'll be like I reckon there's going to have to be some mega games in there. But again, as you say, all it takes us West Ham win the next 2 games. They're probably thinking that's enough. That might be enough to get you out of there. But you win 2 games, but if you lose the next 3, you're right back in it again. It's just the joy of the Premier League, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the thing is, we got a week off. After this week, we got a week off because Man City's postponed. So we got to find a way to do that. But our next 2 games are against teams that we should be kicking their asses 5-0. You got Aston Villa and you got Southampton. So in the next 3 weeks, you only got to play 2 times. Aston Villa is a good team, but they're winnable game. It's a winnable game. It's gonna be tough, but it's a winnable game.
Is it at home?
What's up?
It's at home as well. Yeah, it's at home. So
the Aston Villa game, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
that's a home game. So you want to be turning up for that. If you get 3 points against them, and Aston Villa are pretty much playing for nothing right now. They're safe mid-table. They're out of the relegation. They're not going any higher. They're not going any lower. They're kind of in that season, kind of just play it out now. Let's not get injured. So if you get into them and you go for that one, you should probably there's a definite chance they were picking up 3 points. As you say, the City one postponed. Southampton is a big game. If you beat Southampton, that's one of those. As I say, that's one of those cliched 6-pointers. You get 3, and that probably, I would say, that may well be the death knell for Southampton if you can put that gap between them.
The only thing I'm concerned with is we got to face against Newcastle after that and Fulham. I think Fulham can be a winnable game, but they're tough right now. They're hot. Yeah. You can't deny what they're doing. But after
Newcastle are in a bit of.
But we face against Arsenal after that.
It gets easier.
I think Newcastle could be weirdly gettable right now. I think their defense has not gotten like significantly worse, but they're conceding and they have kind of just stopped scoring. So I think of all the times to be playing Newcastle, like right now probably feels like a time that you'd not like fancy that fixture, but as good a time as possible to be playing them, right?
Yeah, they do seem to be in a bit of a hangover from the final. They've lost the final. They've not. The last few games, they've not really been at the races. So
and they have had some tough fixtures, like to be fair, but the kind of games they were like thriving off of at the beginning of the season.
Exactly. I mean, those fixtures weren't as tough for them first half of the season. So it's just timing wise, as you say, might be a good time to go and play Newcastle.
And now I'm getting word that like Scamacca might be going on loan to AC Milan in the summer. Newcastle wants Paqueta for $60 million. If Rice continues to play how they're playing, we could definitely get easy at 80 to 120 million out of them. But for me, that's what's going on. And I'm hearing some stupid rumors that Jose is going to come to West Ham. That's bullshit. That's not happening.
That's not happening. I'm sorry.
That would be.
What a bit of recruitment that would be. But Jose Mourinho is not going to West Ham.
I doubt it. Yeah.
Unless he's going for the full, London set. He's done Chelsea. He's done,
right.
Why not?
Full set. I mean,
dude, give me 120 million. Now we could reconstruct our whole mid. Our whole forward position, our defense position. But now we're hearing ownership stuff going
rumblings,
on. Daniel Kristetsky might be getting 25% of West Ham in the summer. So it's a shareholder. That's going to be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But there's a lot of things that are going to happen. Moyes is definitely not going to be here next year. He can't. He can't.
You think it's a definite no?
You think he's not coming back? If he gets to the end of the season, he keeps you in the Premier League. Is that not enough?
No.
What about if he wins the Europa League and keeps you in the Premier League or Europa Conference League? Sorry, would that give him enough brownie points and enough credit to start next season? He might be the first head on the block. He might be the first one out the door.
But at least
sort of
to
but at
start
least
the
he'll.
season, yeah.
If you win me the Europa League and get relegated, he's gone.
Oh yeah.
If you,
I think relegation,
if you keep us in the Premier League and don't win the Conference League, there's a 50-50 shot. But you're losing your locker room.
Yeah.
That's important. Like it doesn't matter if you win your last 5 games of the season or win your next 10 games of the season. Everything always happens when it comes to the locker room. It's all up to the locker room at this point. Because we spent so much money. We need to keep Scamacca. We need to keep Paqueta. We need to keep our big signings.
You can't be loaning somebody out that you just literally broke your transfer record for last summer. How can you just turn around and go, we've given you 2/3 of a season, half of it you were injured, there was a World Cup in the middle of it, but we don't think you're good enough to go back to AC Milan. What?
There's no way.
There's no way. Just madness. That is. But you say, you're right. If the rumbles, if the newspapers are already saying the locker room's gone, or is turning, or is starting to be a bit disgruntled, even if the players go, look, guys, we're playing for our Premier League future, not the managers. That's if the manager's already lost that support, then he's on a hiding to nothing. So apologies for that. That's it.
No, to be fair, I think this season's like the rest of the season's going to be interesting for West Ham. Like it is tough, and I feel like the bottom of the Premier League is so tight that I feel like it's not just you guys that are kind of in this scenario. Like it's so tight down there. It's kind of nuts that we're this far into the season and there's still that much competition up for it. Yeah, I agree. I think that Southampton game is massive. I don't know how much I'd worry about it. I think Southampton seem to turn up against Chelsea, and that's it. So I think you'll be all right. But I think it's tough. But I don't know. So let's say right now, okay, obviously you're very unhappy with David Moyes, and I understand that. If you could pick a replacement right now, who would it be?
Who's available?
I mean, I know Watford's coach just got fired just recently, but
breaking news.
Yeah,
Watford have sacked their manager.
Whatever, right? But I mean, my goal is Pochettino. I've been saying it since the beginning. I love that man. I was
ambitious.
I would go to war for him. I would go to war for him.
I think the players would as well, but I'm not sure your front office would go to war for him.
Yeah.
See, but here's the thing, though. He has a house in London. He's got a house in Spain. He wants to play in London again. But here's the thing. He was interested in the West Ham job, but he's interested in the Tottenham job more.
Yeah.
He's going to go back to Tottenham. He's going to go back. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. If he doesn't go back to Tottenham, I don't know. He's not. He's interested in us, but I just really don't think he's going to come to us. But that's my big one. But honestly, who's out there? That's the thing. I don't really done my homework enough to see.
No, it's tough
because it's
the manager
thin.
market is tough right now.
It's
a tough one. I mean, where do you go? Do you go left field and you don't go for a Premier League proven manager? You go to Germany or you go somewhere out of the box.
Bring back Nathan
somebody.
Jones.
Or you go to the Championship. Yeah, I think unfortunately the Southampton experience and the Southampton experiment has probably meant that many of those Championship managers and lower league managers are probably not going to get a chance for the next few seasons. But does that mean, do they go South America? Do they reach out to, West Ham have got a crazy sort of scouting network and they pull players from all sorts of places. Is there a manager out there in Mexico or, Panama that they would just suddenly go, let's bring this guy in because, just as a left field, because you're looking again at relegation specialists right now. If you get rid of Moyes in the next couple of weeks, It's somebody who's a relegation specialist, and that's only short term. And Moyes was brought in for exactly the same thing: keep you in the league. You can't just be looking at keeping you in the league. You need to be looking at staying in the league and then pushing on.
Future proofing, yeah.
You can't just be stopgapping, and you can't just be changing managers 2 seasons at a time, because managers are signing up to crazy sort of contracts, knowing full well that, hey, in 3 years' time, you'll boot me out the door and I'll walk away with, 20 million payoff or whatever else. That's a lot of money to sign up for. So I think it's a big decision, but who is out there and who wants, as you say, Pochettino might want to come back to London, but does he want to come to West Ham, or is it just? I think Pochettino might be a reach.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I think if whatever the coach comes in, he's got to be at least like Portuguese a little bit, or have a Brazil Portuguese background, South America background, because we have a lot of players on our team with that, and I think it would be easier, or someone from France. Or someone from Italy. I think it's most important because we brought players like that in. I'm done with these English Premier League guys. I know people are going to say, hey, they have experience in the Premier League. Yeah, I understand that, but it hasn't worked.
What experience? Yeah, what experience have they got? They've got experience of the lower end of the Premier League.
If you're going to bring in a Premier League players, then yes, bring in experience with the Premier League players. But as a coach, I'm done with it. I'm done with the coaching side. Bring in more Premier, but that's what we do. But I'm going to say this last part. It's going to be extremely tough down the road. It's going to be extremely tough to try and stay up here. It will come back to the last game. I have faith, but it's just going to be hard. But I have faith, though.
Good stuff. There you go. That's the. I'll bring back Steve Bruce. Why not? Big Sam's available. I'm sure he'll come out. Bring him back. So, Matty, that was the less than positive, but still with a silver lining view of West Ham. Give us the run of the middle ground Chelsea that you're feeling.
I mean, look, we won a game of football. Would be the positive.
Barely.
See, there's the little nick. We finally won a game of football, which is wicked, but we played kind of terrible. We were just lucky that we played a kind of terrible team who just played a bit more kind of terrible than us.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, brilliant. We won, but it's nothing really to get excited about.
Right.
I guess the slightly bigger talking point is, obviously, I know we're going to get onto the Champions League and stuff in a moment. We are currently beating Dortmund 2-0, which would put us through. So that's cool. That's good. Fine. Happy with that. But yeah, I think in terms of that game, it didn't really do a lot for me. We still didn't really have much of an identity. There wasn't much to be happy about. It's 3 points, cool, but I am just numb. I don't.
Do you think Potter went out with just let's get something out of this game and was thinking and focusing?
Yeah, lads, we just need a result. I mean, look, at this point, I think it's just Chelsea fans are just excited when we score. I don't think we even particularly care about winning anymore. Scoring a goal is exciting. We kind of forget what that feels like sometimes. So yeah, I think he is in that stage of it, and I think I've said it so many times. I do think he's a good manager, but it just feels so. It just doesn't feel like there's any really way kind of he can come back from this. It feels so toxic. Even I don't know. I in a way kind of hope I'm wrong, but it just feels bad.
Yeah,
I mean, as I said, I think I heard rumbles that Chelsea fans, much like you said last time, you were hoping for Tottenham to score a third goal. I think I was hearing or reading on Twitter that Chelsea fans were hoping that Leeds would at least equalise, because then that may well force Potter out. That toxicity is a horrible place for a manager to be in. How can he continue, or how can he turn that round? I don't think you'll get rid of him now, because I think you're too deep in the season.
Yeah.
We just said about West Ham. Who else is out there? You can't. you can't go unless you go and reach back to Frank Lampard or one of your. Is John Terry still knocking around as
I'll tell you what,
Aston Villa,
I have a good name for the Chelsea job that I've thought of recently.
Don't say it.
Don't say it. I wonder. Don't say it.
Don't say it.
Because
I know where you're going with this, Matty.
I actually don't think you do. I do not think you do. I think someone who I would much prefer, I guess, in the driver's seat. Yes, obviously. But if not, I think another Thomas, I would go Thomas Frank. I think he would be a phenomenal appointment. I really do think that. I think he's, whether he would leave or not, I don't know. He's in a very good, secure position. Obviously, the club love him. And to be fair, going to be Chelsea manager is pretty bloody volatile, as we've seen very recently. But I just think he's got that character, which I think is a big thing for a Chelsea manager. Like, again, I know I've said this so many times on this show, but I do really like Graham Potter as a manager, but he doesn't seem to have that character, that bravado, that that like oomph, I guess, is like without
it doesn't match your owner, does it? Your owner's like
it's two totally different styles. And not that I'm saying Thomas Frank is necessarily that, because I know Brentford are kind of get a lot of stuff done with a much more like modest setup and stuff, I get, but I just feel like he's got a lot more of that like character about him, and I feel like he would have that kind of charisma to sort of win the fans on side, even if necessarily the results aren't going that way. Again, that's kind of totally out of the blue. It probably, it won't happen. They have the full faith in Potter thing, whether they want him to or not. But
or do they have faith in Potter till the end of the season?
Quite. I'm receiving live updates from my brother. You probably can't see that on my tiny little webcam. Who's watching the game, and he says, and I quote, played really well so far. Have I seen the score? Obviously I have, Richard. Shame on you for not watching the podcast. Bad boy. Back three plus Chilwell and James looks like we're back in our best shape. Oh my gosh. The Thomas Tuchel system has returned.
Somebody's had a word. Somebody has had a word and said, maybe we should go back to that, because
the squad's just not right for a back four. It never has been. Like, even when Thomas Tuchel was trying to play it, it wasn't working. Like, the back five is just saucy with the squad that we have. So I was pretty disappointed where with us playing the back four. So if we're playing the back five, Chilwell and James as wing backs, I'm a happy man. Is
that because of injuries? Do you think it's because James and Chilwell are now back fit that he's able to?
Yeah, because that system, like the drop off. To be fair, probably the drop off from Chilwell to Cucurella, probably not huge. I would prefer Chilwell in that position, but Cucurella is a very good footballer, very serviceable. He's back.
He's back.
I've been having Wi-Fi issues a lot lately. So
I thought maybe an Aaron Jones. I thought maybe Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers has been announced. He's
that's the dream, right? But no,
I thought literally he's going to come back on and he's going to be dressed fully head to toe in his jet ski. That's what I thought was happening.
No flags though. No flags.
No flags.
Didn't have time to put those back up.
No number 12.
But I think our three at the back system, especially when we have injuries. Yeah, you're all good, man. Okay, you're all good.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's all good, dude. But it doesn't work, like, especially when Reece James is injured, because I love Cesar.
Right.
It's Asp. It's still Asp. Or like Trevor Chalobah has played there a couple of times, which is weird.
Yeah, Chalobah.
But I love Azpilicueta, and I'll die on this hill. I would rather him play than like a much more talented, more in their prime player, because sometimes Asp will give you 125%. He'll play for the badge. He will try everything he can. Not that he can necessarily do it anymore, but he will do it, rather than some really talented players that kind of don't really get what it means to like play for Chelsea, don't really care about it. Like, you can tell he might not drop a good performance, but he will try his best. He will play for that badge. And I think that, at least personally, like, I get some people like, no, get him out of the club. Like, that means a lot for me. It's like, even, when your backs are against the wall, you need those players that are gonna want to dig you out of that situation, and he
Yeah,
is that guy.
fight for it. Even if, as you say, even if he's not playing well, if his form's out or whatever else, he'll still give 125% effort.
Yeah.
He'll still give, push hard. Whereas some of the non-players who don't get it or new to the club or whatever else may just kind of be a bit Bruno Fernandes about it and not give it.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. It's not only that. It's not only that, though. I think Chelsea is in a situation of, if Potter stays, he would have to go far in the Champions League and keep top 10.
Yeah.
If he's going to stay. Now, if he goes, I mean, you could do like a Jose Mourinho thing. You can bring Tuchel back, maybe. I don't think he's going to come back.
He'll never come back. I'd cry, milk out my nose, but he will never come back.
But I mean, it's not the worst thing that could happen, because we've seen this happen with Jose Mourinho so many times before.
Man's like a bad penny. He just keeps going and turning back up, doesn't he? Matty, was Potter brought in by Bowl, or was it kind of a Potter came in and then the new owner took over? Was it a bit?
Well, I don't know, because apparently
I remember it was a bit of each, wasn't it?
Apparently, Graham Potter kind of caught their eye when they were negotiating for Cucurella, which already feels weird. I guess to an extent, Graham Potter would have been involved in that negotiation from the other side, but how much really can you judge his managerial acumen based on a transfer negotiation that's probably 95% not in his hands?
Give us some more money.
Yeah, so that always didn't necessarily sit too right with me. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it was always going to be difficult. I think, especially when you come in, you take in, you have this shiny new toy, you're kind of going to want as many bits of the old regime probably out the door, so you can be like, right, this is what I'm doing. And I think Thomas Tuchel, especially with him not really appreciating how the new owners wanted to do it, he was kind of a prime example of, this is probably someone we're going to want to kind of shove out the door.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Right. Which again,
like our forward plan or whatever.
Yeah, and I think like I've spoken about before, it was always going to be tough, because when it was bad under Tuchel, because again, it was like towards the end of his reign, our form was shocking. But even when it was bad, we knew that he'd won a Champions League with a squad who probably shouldn't have won a Champions League. So we thought, well, what would happen if we gave this guy time and investment to build a team? Like, this could be something. So I think whoever took over from Tuchel was always going to be in pretty hot water. I just think it doesn't necessarily help. Like I said, that even though results weren't going our way, he's just not that typical Chelsea man. And maybe that's something that we as fans need to get used to, because that's clearly not how Todd Boehly and co want to run things. But, I feel like there needs to at least be that period of adjustment. I feel like everything was just kind of done, and Todd Boehly and stuff were like, well, we're really investing in the team, so kind of get over it. And we're like, I don't think it's that simple.
Look at all these great players we've signed. Yeah, you can't just go out and sign players if the guy who's coaching them or managing them or putting them into round pegs and square holes doesn't.
And we still suck. Like, it's not as if we've spent all this money and we're all of a sudden a great team.
We've spent
so much money and we're dreadful. Like,
and we've got a minus goal difference at the moment.
We stole Brighton's manager. Wow. We stole their best player.
Right.
We stole we signed their coaching staff. We signed their backroom staff, and we're still worse than them. Like,
you're still dog shit.
Literally anything else in the world you could spend £500 million on and somehow get worse at. Like, if I spent £500,000 decorating, or £500 million rather, decorating my flat, it would probably look better than before I started spending that money. If I started up a company, even though I know nothing about running a company, but had £500 million backing, it would probably be a fairly successful company, because you can't really go wrong. How on earth can you spend that much money and get that much worse at kicking a ball around a rectangle of grass than before you spent that money?
And as you say, a lot of that money went to the team 2 places above you and how many points above you. And that's
just embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Right, okay. I'm done with this. I'm not going to lie. Groovy, I think you've had a very good week, my friend, have you not?
I think we'll go back to should we just go back to the picks? Because I know we kind of just briefly. Right, let's just run through them. So we called Newcastle kind of holding City. That didn't quite work, because Newcastle were on a bit of a free fall. So City
They just can't score goals at the moment. I don't know what's happening.
Right,
Like they're creating chances. They're just doing nothing with
just
it.
not nobody's getting on the end of them. This was a stormer of a game. Bournemouth almost did it. 2-0 up. I think they went, didn't they? And it was a bit of a shocker, but Arsenal found a way to win. So fair play, showing the grit and determination that might be needed by a team in the run-in. Villa Palace, don't know what to say about that. It wasn't 2-0, it was only 1.
Yeah.
We'll skip that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, where do you want to skip?
I think we've talked that one. We'll skip those ones. This was a bit
Wolves. I was pretty shocked with this. I'm not going to lie.
I was surprised by Wolves doing that because we managed to get a result against Wolves on the Wednesday, which I thought was a good result for us leading into the weekend. So I thought that helped. Mm-hmm. But Wolves turning Tottenham over was a bit of a shocker. I thought was actually, I thought Tottenham would have rolled into Molineux and got something out of that one, but.
I just think Tottenham is such a weird predicament at the moment because obviously, Conte's future is still very much up in the air, and I think it's 99.9% confirmed he's gone, but they haven't physically said he's gone, so it's like
it's back and forth.
And I also just think Conte is such a combustible character anyway. So what's he going to do when he's in charge of a dressing room that he now has no reason to care about, right? Like that just seems like
recipe for disaster.
Right.
You're leaving. You're temperamental. You have history of being a bit explosive, and we're leaving you in charge of a team which is still in the top 4 and still pushing for Europe.
Yeah, but by the way, don't worry about it because you won't be here next season. What?
I would turn around and go, I'm going to play your kids. I'm going to give the academy boys a good run out to give them some experience.
We should release this Harry Kane for actually. I don't like it.
Yeah, I think that 40 million that Man City are offering is a good deal. Bye, Harry. Yeah,
it's just
something.
I don't
crazy.
I don't understand.
As I say, Southampton pulling out a couple of good results. A big win against Leicester, who are just dreadful right now. So maybe this is the Southampton resurgence, but I think they're too far gone to even make too much of a dent in the rest of it.
I would agree with that. I think Southampton are probably done at this point. Leicester is so weird, because they didn't.
They're just as weird. They're just as weird as Tottenham because Tottenham's hot and cold all the time. You don't know what's going to happen.
And it seems like sometimes Leicester
turned on right now.
Leicester just seems like they will turn up and play really well and get nothing from it, and then sometimes they'll turn up, play absolute dog crap, and then somehow sneak a win. I don't understand them. They've played so well against some really big teams and been so unlucky to not get results.
Right.
This one was a shock. They should have won this, but then sometimes they just played terribly and just squeak it.
Terribly.
I don't understand them. They're really stressing me out at the moment.
It's just an odd one. I don't think Brendan Rodgers is safe on the Leicester manager hot seat at all.
Oh no.
Oh no. You know what? Bring me Conte. Give me Conte.
Yeah. He doesn't have to move far then, does he?
Give me Conte all day long.
Take him. He might go to West Ham to prove Tottenham wrong. He might have that,
How weird would that be?
What a power move that would be.
Pochettino goes back to Tottenham and Conte comes to West Ham. How freaking genius.
What about if Conte went back to Chelsea?
Oh, shit. I don't even think about that. Oh, my God. Clip that.
With ownership that would full on back him as well.
Bro.
Oh my God.
No. What if Rodgers? Wait a minute.
Oh no! Wait, hang on. Where's he going now? Go on.
What if Rodgers goes to Everton?
No.
Brendan Rodgers to Everton. Whoa.
No, wouldn't do it. Although I said that about Rafa, he went. I don't think he would. I don't think he'd go.
It depends how long Sean Dyche is going to tank, though.
You mean to tell me the bottom 12 teams, Brendan Rodgers can't go to those teams besides Leicester? Rodgers could easily go to one of those teams.
I guess so, but I think the Leicester one's been a bit weird. I feel like they peaked really early under him when they beat us in the FA Cup final, and then I just feel like season on season, they've just kind of gradually got worse. So
just kind of declined and disappeared and sold off. They've just been in a selling mode.
He would get a Premier League job, but I feel like he's in a very weird stage right now. I feel like if he can't turn it around for Leicester, where does he go from there? His career has kind of been on the up. Obviously, I think he got the Liverpool job probably a bit too early for him, and I think since then he's been kind of rebuilding his reputation. But if he can't turn this Leicester team around, where does Brendan Rodgers go next? That feels
Rangers.
Rangers. Wow.
Cool. Anyway, I don't know. I think if he does go from Leicester, I think he has to go out of the Premier League for a season or something, just to kind of maybe rebalance. Because Liverpool to Leicester, and he's not had a break, and now again Leicester are a bit free fall, a bit hot and cold, as you say, but mostly cold at the moment. I think he needs either a rethink or a refresh. And maybe he's just been found out from the managerial style. When he turned up at Liverpool, he blew teams away, but 2 seasons in, people worked him out. Maybe
yeah.
The same sort of thing. Nottingham Forest, Everton. We knew it was going to be a draw.
I think it was always going to be a tight game. Always, it was always going to be a hot contest, like big time. And I think that's a good result for Forest. I think that's a good result for Forest, though. Kind of another point just keeps them eking them a little.
It's good for both. It's good for both.
Yeah, Everton didn't lose. That's good for them. Forest keep the gap kind of even between them and someone they're competing with. So that's I think both camps going to go home pretty happy with that. What a goal from Brennan Johnson, by the way. Oh my God, he looks exceptional.
I have been saying to West Ham for years, you need to get that guy.
He's a phenomenal player. He's so good. He's such a talent, and he'll end up on Chelsea's books, go out on loan for 15 years, and then we'll sell him at 45, having never played a game for us. But
I mean, that's the Chelsea way. You got over 30
Chelsea
people
way.
on loan.
Yeah, when I say play for the badge, that's because if you make it to the first team, you're already in the 0.01%. You need to bust your ass to stay there. I'm interested to hear about this next game, though.
this next game, I just want to say, when I called it as 2-0 last week, there was some sharp intakes of breath.
Mate, I thought you were crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I was sat there watching the beginning of it with my brother. We just finished watching the F1, and I was like, this guy that I do a podcast with, he thinks Liverpool are going to win this 2-0. And my brother was like, is he okay? And I was like, I don't think so.
Sure.
And then not only do they score 2, they continue to score another 5.
It's just, to be honest, it was the cliched game of 2 halves, this one, because the first half was nip and tuck. United had 25 minutes in that first half where they should have scored. They were on top. They were a better team. We got a 15-minute period towards the end. Nicked the goal just before half time and thought, we did well to go in 1-0 up at half time. It was a nip and tuck. Rashford should have scored that chance he had where he, took the first touch. Normally in the form he's been in, he would have buried that one, but he kind of scuffed it off his studs.
Right.
Couple of chances, half chances and whatever else. Second half, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Yes, we were kicking towards the Kop. Yes, the atmosphere at Anfield was absolutely buzzing. It was a cauldron of noise. That second goal went in early, and the United players just disintegrated mentally. I don't know what happened, and then we just ran riot, and it got to the stage where
I know what happened. Because championship, they win a championship, then they win. They're gonna lose a game or two coming down, because when you're on that high, you're gonna get a reality check, and then they'll bounce back.
I think so, maybe. But then I thought the reality check, I literally thought the game against you guys at Old Trafford was enough of a reality check for them when they almost lost to West Ham. You guys had them on the ropes and whatever else. I thought that would have been enough. But those players just absolutely, some of them just didn't look like professional footballers towards the end. They just didn't want to be on the pitch. There was some horrendous. Luke Shaw, heads have gone. I don't know how he didn't get a red card. He was kicking and fouling and pulling and whatever else. Fernandes, I think, has been lambasted more than enough in the media for just being an embarrassing, petulant child. And just, that's not what you expect from a Man United team, no matter who's the manager, but from any team at Man United, especially in a game against Liverpool. It's huge. It's a huge game. And for Liverpool to just run amok, just literally by the time we were getting 4, 5, 6, I was just laughing. It was just comical. It wasn't even shocking or, yes, it's humiliating for United, but it got comical towards the end. It was just like, who else is going to score? What's next? And then the cherry on the icing on the top of the cake is, let's bring Bobby Firmino on for 3 minutes just to give him a run out because he's, just announced he's leaving. And he goes and scores. It was like, what could it wrap it up better for Liverpool? bit rocky, you know, a big game, a chance to rekindle a chance of chasing the top four and maybe, just maybe giving a little bit of hope against Real Madrid. But I just stunned. By the end of it, I couldn't stop smiling. I was laughing, but it was just a stunning result and a stunning second half. Not a stunning game, but just stunning in a second half that's not stunning like amazing stunning, but just literally just watching it was just stunned looking at how one-sided it was, how bad United players were. 11 professional players, or 13 or 14 or whatever, you know, look at how many subs they brought on, who just forgot to be professional footballers. What was going on?
I also just feel like as much as this was a pure capitulation on United's side, because it was, like, they just gave up at a certain point. They just sacked it off and like, well, it's done. Who cares anymore? And I just felt so sorry for David De Gea, just watching goal after goal going. You're like, the poor guy.
Nah, I'm good.
But I think creds has to go too, because I know they've received a lot of criticism this season. That Liverpool forward line, exceptional. Like the whole game, it didn't matter who was in there. I thought Cody Gakpo was phenomenal. He was so good. I think Darwin Núñez showed his quality. Salah was Mo Salah. I think the midfield just looked amazing. Like the midfield looked good. Like I think Harvey Elliott put in a shift, and I think Harvey Elliott is one of those players that if he doesn't play for your team, you hate him. Like kind of like Diego Costa at Chelsea, or like Rudiger as well. Like if he was on the other team, you thought, what a knob. Like you hate that man's guts. But if he's on your team, he's like your favorite player, because you know he's going to be up for anything. He's going to stick up for his teammates. He's going to get stuck in, do the job that needs to be done. And I just think, other than Alisson having a few questionable moments, I'd say that was a pretty flawless performance as it goes.
Yeah, I mean, Alisson, maybe he just felt bad and he wanted to keep things a bit lively or whatever. Maybe he was getting, maybe he got bored, you know, a bit tasty. He got bored.
Yeah, why not? He was like, do you know what? I just fancy a jog to the halfway. Like, oh, whoops.
Or I just fancy just kind of maybe giving a penalty away by just completely slipping over and missing the ball or whatever. Yeah, that was the heart and mouth. But as you say, it was just it was a Liverpool of old. The second half, it was a Liverpool of old. The first half, bit shaky, but got through it. But that second half, that sort of sheer dominance, that sheer relentlessness, there was just. Was it this way? Was it determined? Was it going out the cop, just sort of willing them on with the feeling of maybe, getting it? Maybe some of the players finally got it. Or maybe it was just one of those games. It was eventually going to happen that front three would click. It was a game that was going to... It was going to happen to some team. Where
I just hope they kick on from here. I hope that's not it.
I hope that's not the blip and one of those, you remember the Man United game? Yeah, but then... They lost 4 in a row after that or whatever else. I hope that's not the case. I mean, a massive charge now. Tottenham are in a little bit of, free fall. Maybe their form's not great, contents we've just talked about. Maybe top 4 isn't out of the question for us now.
I think that's gettable for you now. Honestly, if you play like that for the rest of the season, you'll bloody pip Arsenal to the title, mate. Honestly, if you play like that every game,
that's a shockwave. But it's a shockwave result to everybody else in the league to suddenly see.
That's like 20 points.
Yeah, like I said, it's not going to happen, right? But if you play like that every game for the rest of the season, you will be so comfortably top 4. And if you played like that, or at least specifically that second half, if you're that clinical, that aggressive, because I think one of the things that I noticed about the game was if you compare it to like the Carabao Cup final, United were just happy to let Newcastle have as much time on the ball as they wanted, because they just weren't creating anything. They weren't being direct. So what did Liverpool do? The exact opposite. As soon as they got on the ball, forward ball, get in, go direct. And like United just didn't have an answer for it. Like I honestly think if you play like that, I don't think your Champions League campaign is dead. Like, it probably is. But I think if you can just, because, I mean, you've got nothing to lose at this point. I think if you just full on go at Madrid, it might be a case of you lose on, like not away goals, but, like, goal difference or something. But, I mean, you've clearly shown you're capable of blowing good teams away. Yeah. So, it's not entirely over. It probably is.
It probably is.
No,
What it's done is kindled that hope, right? Of it could happen.
There's
It's
something.
brought back. It's brought back the hey, look, Barcelona were 3-0 up. We were 3-0 down in Turkey. Yeah, there's a glimmer there now that just
we could have full on remontada here. Yeah,
we could go to the Bernabeu. We could turn up and we could literally just unleash the red arrows or whatever we're calling them this time round, and whatever else, and get after Real and maybe just shake them enough, because a 7 that's going to the rest of Europe sit up and take notice of a 7-0 win, especially against Man United.
That's crazy.
It's a statement where people are like, oh, if it was 7-0, and in all due respect, if it's 7-0 against Bournemouth, it might not be quite so,
I mean, if you come back against Real, now that you've done that, maybe you're practicing for Real. But at the same time, I mean, if Gakpo and Nunez and Salah just come out and just go on a tear, and maybe Diaz coming back soon? Or is he out?
He's coming back
that's
soon.
just a boost.
Yeah.
That's just
Jota,
a boost.
Get Jota back as well. He's also coming back as well. So
like I said, this month and a half is going to be very interesting. But these top 5 teams could definitely go up, down, or it could just stay consistent. And Liverpool might be able to squeeze in there if Tottenham lose again.
Yeah,
which very well could happen.
And from a United point of view, how do they recover from that? Do they go, it was a one-off? Or is that now, is there actually kind of set more of a time bomb off in the United dressing room where they suddenly, with all of the way some of those players just gave up, didn't want to play, lost their heads? Is there more going on there? Who knows? Maybe they might fall away. Yeah, couldn't happen to a worse team.
Yeah.
I think the fan base needed this humbling. I'm happy with this happening.
Yeah. I mean, the perfect shot on Sunday was like 60 minutes in, where all the United fans were trying to get out. And
just leave him.
Just leave it. Leave it.
And then the last game of the season, last game of the week.
What a game that was, by the way.
What a game! We called a tight 2-2, but there you go. And Ivan Toney, showing up, even with all the hoo-ha about what's going on with him and whatever else, turns up and scores. Leads the team. Great result for them. It keeps them above Chelsea, obviously. But it's Fulham and Brentford looking like top 10 teams.
They deserve it. They deserve to be where they are. They're good teams. They're playing well. They're not afraid. They're actually scoring goals. What do you want? You're happy. You're a happy man if you're a
happy man. You got to be loving life down at Brentford right now. Right? Do we want to run through next set of results before we dig into Europe and stuff? Let's do that. So, I think this is going to be an away win.
I'd assume so. I don't want this could be big boy banana skin. Do you get
depends? It depends what happens between
whacking your biggest rivals 7-0. But no, I think you'd probably have to say that Liverpool would at least squeak this one. You'd imagine
2-0.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
That's a safe one. It might be 5 or 6. It could be a 1-0. It depends. But you've got a week and a bit to get to there. There's a rather big game in the middle between there. So
I think just as long as you leave there as a Liverpool fan with a win, I think you're happy with it. You're chasing down Tottenham, and it's the business end of the season. It just matters about results. Doesn't matter the margin, whatever. If you're getting results, happy days.
Right. Brentford, Everton. I could see Brentford winning 2-0 right here.
Brentford's form thing is always so nice. When was the last time Brentford lost a game?
It's there's no red. It's quite pleasant, isn't it? It's
Wonder Years of Leicester. Wonder Years of Leicester. That's all I can think about.
I think Brentford are going to get the job done. Oh, yeah. It's bad times for everything right now, man.
Sean Dice is they got a little bit of a bounce from him being there, but not enough, really, is it?
It's tough. It's tough.
Man, I have a lot of friends that are Leeds fans, and I'm going to be honest. I have no faith in Leeds winning this game. Mitoma is just on fire. If you want to talk about a hot team, just a hot player at the moment, hell yeah, 3-0. The team will get it done.
Yeah, they seem to. I think they seem to have responded, from Potter leaving, Caterina, getting, if you like, cherry picked from some of their best players, they've turned around and gone, hang on.
Facts.
We got a bit of a chip on our shoulder. We got something to show these guys, the players that were left at Brighton as if, almost discarded or not good enough for Chelsea or whatever else. They're showing up and they're playing lights out football.
See, now I don't want to bring my grandpa conspiracy theory into this debate, but I think it's just worth.
But you get
grandpa.
Yeah, of course I am. Obviously, Brighton under Graham Potter were like XG merchants, right? Like they were creating so many chances and whatever, and they just if they had a clinical striker, what a nightmare they'd be able to do something. I'm just saying, isn't it funny how since Graham Potter has moved to Chelsea, we create loads of chances but are unable to hit them with a barn door, which to be fair we haven't done for a very long time. But my point stands, his trend continues, and if anything, Brighton have just gotten more clinical.
They haven't changed much. They've just managed to get the luck of the draw,
to be scoring a lot
green.
more under De Zerbi. Like I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to question
surely Graham Potter's not out there. Surely he's making the strikers.
Is he just an XG merchant? Is
my question? We'll make loads of chances, but the strikers, we haven't practiced hitting the back of the net or something. Surely.
I'm just saying. Speaking of Graham Potter's current employment,
Leicester City are going to win this game.
Yeah, I kind of agree, mate. I'm not going to lie.
Is this Rodgers redemption? Is this Rodgers getting back to Chelsea? Because wasn't he assistant manager under Jose?
Yeah, he was probably. I think it's one of those jobs he's been linked to like a lot of times as well. Like it felt like it was just going to happen and didn't.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah, I can see us
color chart there. I mean, it's not good for either team, is it? Really?
No. I can also just see us genuinely throwing like everything into this game at Dortmund and then just turning up in Leicester with like not like nothing left in the tank, but like guys, didn't we do great on the weekend? And then shit, we've lost again. Like that.
Did we do great midweek? Look at us, we've got through. We beat Dortmund.
There's two things that could happen. I mean, one, Chelsea can totally go in and kick their asses, or they come out of Champions League so great during this game and then just get defeated by the weekend, like you said, Matty.
I just know, like, it always seems like if a team is in desperate need of a bounce back game, draw Chelsea and
Chelsea come to town. It's almost
Leicester are really in need of a bounce back.
No. Leicester ain't gonna score 2 goals. No.
You think? To be fair, we probably won't score 1. Yeah, 1-0.
That's 1-0.
So it's a 1-0.
Because the thing is, we're
bounce off of somebody's shoulder.
We're playing well right now when we've got a back 5, but as much as I love the guy, he like looks like he's potentially got tendons made of cheese strings. So Reece James will probably get injured, which throws the back 5 out the window, which means we'll go back to being dreadful. So yeah, 1-0. Why not?
Dreadful. Okay, Man United versus Southampton, and Man United don't win this game. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions going into next week.
It's at home as well. It's at Old Trafford, so there's going to be a lot of Man United fans looking for the result.
Pretty angry. He's going 5-0.
What's that? 5-0 to Southampton.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
5 Ward-Prowse free kicks.
Ward-Prowse free kick.
Absolute madness.
I'm done with that. I love him, but I'm done with that. I love him, and I think he might. I mean, you never know.
I reckon he'll get one. I reckon he'll get at least one.
But he hasn't done it lately.
Nah, Shane Long masterclass incoming, I'm telling you.
So, are we reckon United might get this done? Then
I think they'll get it done. Yeah, I'd say they'll be fairly comfortable.
Yeah, you don't want to do it, dude.
I don't want to do it.
This is one of your rivals, Liver.
I know. I can't. I can see that.
That's an awful score. Anyway, sorry. Let's go down.
We'll come back and it'll be spot on. It'll be exactly what we've just said. It'll be like,
I'll talk to Elon Musk. So let's go.
I think Forest get it done. I'm not gonna lie.
No, tie.
Do you think it? I'm happy with the tie.
2-2.
I just have a feeling about Forest. I think they're just such a plucky team.
I think they're sneaky plucky. I think they've got a bit of something. They might just sneak that.
Right.
I'm happy with the draw, but I got a feeling that Forest might just do that one. But we'll see.
Okay, listen. I like Patrick Vieira, but that form chart is
It's like
Oh
Moyes.
my god!
It's like Moyes.
It's sneaky bad though, because you don't realise that.
No, they've kind of been dragged into this fight, kind of seemingly out of nowhere. That seems to have just slowly happened, and now it's like, oh god!
There, and then suddenly you look at it and you go, "Oh, you haven't won in a long time, have you?" And now you've got City.
They've only won 6 games.
Yeah.
No. All these damn ties. I don't know why they're so ahead. I don't know why they're so ahead.
A lot of nil-nils.
Wow, they've only won 6 games. Jesus.
Yeah.
The one thing I would
unfortunately,
Palace
I don't see them winning this one.
No, I don't. But Palace always seem to pull out a result against City. You know, that seems to be that one fixture like every year that you're like, City will do them, and then somehow it's like, they've lost it 2-1. Yeah, it's like, how's that happened? Yeah.
And then the whole story with Zaha, is he going to
it comes up again.
It's always annoying.
Too good for turn. Yeah,
right.
I mean, I do think City will do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a random Palace win. They just seem to do that over City like every season.
Every season they pull one out, don't they? It's could be this one.
This is going to be tighter than people think. I know it's Arsenal. I still think Arsenal's going to get the job done. They've come from behind last game and won, which is shocking to me. But
Fulham are so good though. Like I don't really write down anything.
This is going to be a 3-2. This is going to be a 3-2 win Arsenal though.
You think Fulham are going to be involved in like a second thriller in a row?
No, I think all of them will. The 75th minute is going to be crucial.
Oh. Some Mystic Meg level.
That's getting deep. That's getting deep there, isn't it?
Hey, but you can't deny what Fulham have done. We can't deny what Arsenal did last game. You can't let that happen again.
Can't let it. But then that was against Bournemouth. You shouldn't be down against Bournemouth 2-0 rather than
you should kick their asses.
Yeah, but I mean they were 1-0 down in what was it 9 seconds or something.
Oh yeah, and then Nelson,
9 seconds.
Nelson comes back and just screamer.
I also absolutely loved that the like post-match press conference when he was like, did you plan to score that early? And he was like, well, we just kind of saw how good they were, so we thought maybe if we just go for them straight away, it might work. And like, what a genius! What a move!
What a masterstroke! Just wow!
Just kick off, throw everyone forward, and hopefully it works. I love it. That's my kind of tactics.
Maybe we'll see more of it. Maybe we'll see more of it going forward. Right then. The claret and blue battle.
What are you saying, mate? How are you feeling?
All right, you know what? It's all gonna depend on how we do Thursday. Honestly, that's what I think. It's all gonna because Moyes is losing the locker room rapidly. So it depends on how we do Thursday. If we bounce back and we win, we will win against Aston Villa. If we lose on Thursday, we're gonna lose against Aston Villa. So the Aston Villa, let's look at them in the league. Where are they at? They are about 11.
They're pretty
They've
steady,
won their last 2 games, so I'm gonna go with a tie. 1-1.
Is that? I think that's you being optimistic there,
Yeah, but I mean, I could see us scoring first, and then Aston Villa scores in the second half. We're not a good second half team, so
no. And Villa have some kind of like they're I think they're good, and I think they're a stable team, but they also have some kind of sneaky bad moments where things just kind of seem like, that was. Oh,
where did that come? Hang on. They were doing okay. They were 1-0 up and they lost 4-1.
Right.
I can probably see this going either way. I think
Wait, I think we'll win?
I don't know. I think
it's a tie. I think it's going to be a tie.
Yeah, I think I'm happy to go with a tie. I think this could be like a very comfortable Aston Villa win and like a very unhappy London Stadium. I feel like West Ham could come out of the gates throwing fists, like ready for the scrap, or it could just be like a 1-1 and both teams leave there like, cool, didn't lose, happy days. So I'm happy to predict a draw for that.
But it would be interesting if it went that sort of first way. If Villa went 2-0 up quite early on,
right?
Would the stadium would it be an unpleasant place to be?
Well, we're gonna boo them. We're gonna boo them no matter what.
Oof.
We're gonna boo them no matter what. I mean, that's nothing new.
Yeah. This is an interesting
Newcastle.
One.
Yeah,
that
Newcastle form board is kind of sneaky bad.
Yo, Wolves, I'm just saying this now. I think this is going to be a tight game than people think. I know Newcastle's kind of like, not doing so great at the moment scoring. But Wolves have lost their last game, but they won the 2 before that. But Newcastle tied and they won. That's not really coincidence. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think Wolves are going to win at the last minute. Stoppage time.
Ooh.
2-1. 2-1.
You think
I really think this is going to be interesting. I really do.
I got a feeling that Wolves will do this one because actually that form of Newcastle, they just seem to be in a little bit of, as you say, Matty, they're
just kind of
shipping
seem to have
goals.
lost it, yeah.
They've lost that spark. And do they? I don't know if players are feeling tired or something. I don't know what's going on there. But
that's I think the problem. It's almost kind of like Chelsea of last season. We were really good at the start, really, really good. And our defense was literally conceding nothing. So we were winning a lot of like 1-0 games, whatever. And then all of a sudden our defense started to concede, which isn't a bad thing. That's obviously going to happen. You can't shut people out forever. But when your front line stops performing and you're now conceding, there is
really
a problem.
And
like that kind of feels like what's happened with Newcastle. Like their defense has started to show cracks because their ridiculous form was never going to carry on forever, but that front line just isn't firing at the moment, and that's never going to end positively 95% of the time. Like it's
they maybe. I mean, you don't want to say it, but maybe they need some fresh blood in there. I know they've made some big signings. But
wait for the summer, boy.
Wait for the summer. I reckon they're going to be splashing the cash a fair bit because they've been to one final. They've peaked maybe too early, and we're in Champions League spots. They're still pushing for Europe, and I think they probably deserve a European. European.
I think
next year, but
I think Isak definitely needs to get a bit more of a run of games. I really like Callum Wilson. I think he's a wicked player, but they spent a lot of money on Isak, and obviously at the moment Wilson's not scoring. And I think when he came on in the Carabao Cup final, he looked lively. So
he looked lively, but it looked like he played in sort of like in midfield rather than
like a centre attacking mid. Yeah, which felt strange. But yeah, I think like at this point, why not? Like if the tried and tested formula isn't working, right? Give it a try. It's something.
And then second half of the week's one of those double
random
weeks.
Brighton Palace derby.
Yeah, the South London derby.
Is it like the M something derby? Yeah, they just
in M4. I can't remember. M3
despise each other for some reason. Yeah, I don't know.
These two do.
Brighton's gonna win this 3-0, baby. Brighton's winning this 3-0.
Gone for it.
Bullshit. Crystal Palace suck. Let's go.
This is not.
Hey, you Crystal Palace fans, you guys have been sliding by for years. You need a butt whooping. Seriously.
I feel like this year's a bit of a consolidation year. I feel like Vieira did a really good job last year, and I feel like this year they've kind of consolidated a little bit. But
they've middled it, haven't they? They've kind of
they've just kind of been there.
It's a classic sort of forward defensive English cricket, sort of just block everything out. And it looks like Chelsea have wrapped up their win against Dortmund. There.
Bloody hell, we've actually gone through. My goodness.
Gone through.
Okay.
I mean, they have 2 good players at the most, right?
Are we talking Palace or Chelsea?
Yeah, Palace. Why would I talk about Chelsea right now? Palace.
Yeah,
2 good players?
You look at it and you think, who have they got? They got aging Benteke. You got Eze, I suppose.
Okay,
he's reasonably good, and
I like Eze and Zaha, but I think past that, it's.
I mean, I like the former Chelsea defender. He's a great player. Gay. He's a Gay. He's a great player.
Zaha. Cahill's still playing for them. Cahill, isn't he? Is he playing for Palace now?
I don't think so.
Or is he gone? Has he hung up his boots now?
No, I think he hung up his boots, right?
It's either that or he's some random club in the Championship, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know. Didn't he go to Blackburn or something? Maybe. Anyway,
something like that.
But yeah, I see.
Brentford. Did we talk about this already?
No.
Southampton, Brentford. I can't see anything other than Brentford win. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. I think that's an easy one, and I think
don't want to be that guy, Southampton.
We are that guy, though.
Okay, I'm being that guy, Southampton.
We are those guys.
You suck.
We are saying Southampton. Your time in the Premier League is up. Come in, Southampton. Your time is up. Unfortunately,
I mean, the FA Cup we could do like next week or something, or the week after. That's like a little bit of a break right there.
Yeah.
All right, Champions League. Oh, you won! Chelsea won.
Yeah, boy.
Wow, 2-1
Champions.
aggregate already.
Nice.
Yeah.
So they need- It's a
What
good
is
result.
going
It's a good
on
result.
here? What is going on?
Look at that.
I
Who
don't
is
like
she?
that. I don't like that.
Well,
It's a Chelsea. So
No,
into
not the
the
Chelsea thing.
quarterfinals.
I'm talking about like this is too
Oh.
tight. This is too tight. We're getting like the round. This is the round of 6. This is getting tight.
Just get up, and then, I mean, you wouldn't think it. Look at Benfica; they just put 5 past Bruges.
I mean, I'm not surprised at that. Benfica, Benfica always do good in the Champions League. Always.
Yeah, but you don't expect to kind of, 5-1, 7-1 drubbing on aggregate this late in the Champions League. That's.
Yeah.
I mean, Bruges are probably one of the smaller clubs that are coming out of Belgium, but you don't expect to be dropped 7-1 on aggregate.
Right.
But there you go. That's what Benfica have done. And Benfica, as you say, they're always there and thereabouts in the Champions League, but they're never a team that you, as a player, as a team from England. Yes, you worry about going to Benfica because you think if you can get out of Benfica with a draw or just a 1-0 loss, you're okay. Because at home, those guys are like immense. But you always feel that you're probably going to turn them out. You bring them back to Anfield, you take them back to Stamford Bridge, you're going to turn them over. You're going to probably do okay. So the same with most Portuguese teams, unfortunately. They just don't seem to travel well or have the strength to, over 2 legs, the English teams always seem to be, strong enough. So great result for them. They're into the quarters. Chelsea, a great result against Dortmund. That's, stonking result, really.
I mean, you can't. Yeah, I got nothing else to say. That's great.
Yeah. And then tomorrow, who we got tomorrow? Oh,
Bayern Munich, PSG, and Tottenham and AC Milan.
Oof.
No,
I mean
that Bayern Paris Saint-Germain,
that's going to be the match of a lifetime.
Oh, Bayern have got the 1-0 aggregate lead, so they don't have to win. But
Neymar is also out. His season is
who
done.
gives a crap?
Who
Whatever.
cares?
Mbappe and Messi are fine.
That's true, actually. Yeah, okay.
But actually, probably better that he is gone because then it gives Messi a little bit more like
Thank you.
we haven't got to worry about passing to him.
I get a lot of heat crapping on Neymar, but what has he done?
I don't think he's that good.
I think if Brazil had have won the World Cup, I think we're having a very different conversation right now. I think the World Cup, which I'm pretty sure we even said at the beginning of the tournament, I think that tournament was a big one and they really needed to win it and they didn't. And now we're just in the same place where it's like, oh my God, Neymar's 31 and has always had all this hype around him. And realistically, sure, he's been a really good player, but what actually has he done career-wise?
He's not taken a team and won. He's won loads of trophies. So he's been in the team with Messi.
Because like at the moment, it's just going to be his legacy is he was the biggest transfer in football, brilliant, and achieved what they won the French league, which they do anyway. Question mark.
And he went to.
It's always between Leon, PSG, and OM.
Yeah,
Marseille. It's always between those 3 teams. And Lily.
Leo came in. But, he went to PSG. He was the big signing. He was the big signing. He was the big, look, Qatar. We've gone and spent a fortune. We brought Neymar.
Right.
And then they went out and got Messi pretty much straight afterwards. So, you think, why do you need to go get Lionel Messi if you've got Neymar?
Yeah, they obviously paid all that money for Neymar. Then literally the next season, Mbappe kind of blew up and then they got him, so he was kind of immediately overtaken by like the new golden child, and then he was just reunited with Messi, who he supposedly
with the original golden
Barcelona for, and then is kind of now getting overshadowed by like 2 players. Like that's rough. That's not good.
Listen, I'm gonna act like Neymar here real quick.
Where is he? Oh my God, he's even got a West Ham
cushion.
Yeah.
Hello, I am Neymar. I have won an award for the most injuries I've had in my entire career. I would like to thank the Academy. I like to thank Brazil. I like to thank everybody else for the most injuries in the world. I have done nothing.
I've done nothing, and I've got injured at the worst time.
Thank you. I always get injured in March, in April.
Why is Neymar a respected British gentleman in this alternate universe?
What are you talking about? What is this?
Jeez. I'm injured again. Cup of tea, please.
Bring the biscuits.
It is something.
But I do love the fact that he has a West Ham cushion. Did you? I love the fact that
you like
West
that?
Ham cushion.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
It's also. Hey, wait. No,
hey man, hey, back pain is real, bro. Back pain is real, man.
It's even in the shield shape, isn't it? It's in the shape of the shield. It's in the badge.
Got West Ham
socks.
Whoa.
West
Ham socks.
Poor guy.
Anyway.
What's wrong with West Ham socks?
Mate, I love him. I absolutely love him.
Love the fact that you've got West Ham socks.
Just pens. I got
slightly worried when you showed a lot of naked.
Yeah, I was a bit worried how far up that leg shot was going to go. That was the biggest worry. Tottenham Milan.
Oh, jeez. Okay, guys, get your heads out of your butt.
It looked like we were going to see yours.
Man, y'all are mental.
But
anyways,
Tottenham AC Milan. That's another interesting one. I mean, Tottenham have really got to turn up for that one. They're 1-0 down. They've got to go for that. They've got to go for that.
Listen, AC Milan is in my heart, but it's Pioli's time to go. It's well. Here's the thing. I'm not the only one saying this though. No. Hold on. Pioli has frustrated AC Milan fans. He has. Mm-hmm. He's frustrated AC Milan fans. It's very frustrating, but he does good in the Champions League. So I would not be surprised if they win this game. I would not be surprised. It's going to be hard, though, because, Tottenham, Conte loves Italy. Conte loves being there. And it's a home game, right? Isn't it a home game? This wasn't it last time at
it is home for Tottenham, yeah.
It is
it was last time at Tottenham, right? So it's home. AC Milan, right? So
it's at Tottenham, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, we do good on the road. We're not good at home, but they are good on the road. So, I mean, easily I could see Milan, being pissed off for losing last game against Fiorentina, and you're like, hey, let's go. Or they're going to get a Tottenham Hotspur team that Kane or Son or Richarlison scores, or I don't know. This is going to be a tight game. In my personal opinion.
I think so. I think we're at that business end now, right? We wouldn't expect to see too many absolute drubbings of one team to another. I guess minus Benfica Bruges, but we'll move on from that. Do you know what? One game I'm actually so excited for. I know it's obviously next week. I can't English. I know it's next week.
We'll talk about that next week. Yeah.
I think Man City Leipzig is going to be tasty because I think because I think if City get knocked out of that, because that's a very winnable game against Leipzig. Mm-hmm. If City
could easily lose, isn't it?
If City get knocked out at the round of 16, when they're not walking away with the Premier League, I think that fan base implodes because
they're already pissed too.
And as much as they give it the whole whatever, we don't like the Champions League doesn't like us. I still have so many fans on my timeline bitching about losing in Portugal, right? Yeah. To a small club in London who are 10th in the Premier League. So we move on from that, right? Whatever. But I think, honestly, if City get knocked out of that, I think this fan base goes nuclear very fast. I think that's bad. Right. Whatever. We'll talk about that next week. That's next week.
I mean, should we talk about it?
That will be happening as we speak.
We'll be during a podcast when all this happens, I guess.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, here, let's talk about Porto and Inter and Man City and Leipzig because, I mean, Real Madrid and the Napoli game are the next day.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah, fine. Let's talk about those.
Porto and Inter should win this game easily, but Inter should win this game easily, but
I think so.
Sure.
It's like Benfica, right? It's like Benfica. Porto's that one, You think, the Portuguese team, they're not that strong. And sorry, that's Alexa going off in the background there. Don't know what she's saying. She's playing music now. I don't even know what's going on.
What is it? Please tell me what it is.
Rager.
Totally random by Alexa. Alexa in the kitchen has just suddenly started playing.
Oh my God, what is happening right now? What the hell is that?
What the hell? Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know what's happened there.
Mate, what
totally random. Bizarre. Apologies for that. If you're watching on live,
Live
There you go.
entertainment, ladies and
Live
gentlemen.
ent-
This is why you watch it live.
This is why you watch it live.
Cheers,
it's
guys.
only
Cheers.
it's only live once, as they say.
Professional
So yeah, I reckon
podcasting
Inter
right
Milan
here.
win that. Yeah, I mean, Inter Milan go to Porto. I think they're just too strong.
Yeah.
They're just too,
Exactly. Inter's
should
killing
be.
at the moment,
European experience comes through in
Yeah.
Porto. Unfortunately, huff puff, lots of
Right.
passion, but just fall short.
Yeah.
And then, as you say, the City
That's
Leipzig
weird.
one. That's going to be tasty. You could either see City blowing Leipzig away.
It's tied right now.
It's
So is
tied
Inter,
one-
Inter and Porto. Inter should easily win this game, but it's a Champions League. Inter have either shown that they're great or they're not, and Porto's the same way. It seems like Portuguese teams, they always come up big in Champions League. It's just always seemed like that.
I think Porto, Benfica, they just don't have anybody else to play against.
Yeah.
You know,
And
it's
Sporting's
like
good too in
it's
the
like Scottish
competition as
league.
well.
It's like it's Celtic
Yes,
Rangers,
Celtic Rangers, and
and
I forgot. There is a third team. I
Hearts.
forgot.
Dundee Hearts sometimes maybe.
Yeah.
But
Well-
usually it's those. And there you go. That's the Champions League. That's where we'll see it.
I mean, wait. Did we say Porto over Inter?
No, we say Inter.
Nah,
Probably going to
Inter
go
will
to
get the job
Portugal and
done.
do that.
Okay. Two
City
nothing.
should
2-0?
get the job done. Yeah, I'm
about 2-0.
okay with that.
Okay.
I
and
reckon
then-
they turn that round.
Yeah. Man City and
City
Leipzig
should
who
get
else?
it done, but why not? I'm here for the downfall of all English clubs right
Ooh.
now because mine's going down the
Okay.
pan. Let's go Leipzig 2-1.
But let them all
3-1. Wait a minute, 3-1.
Nah, Leipzig 2-1. I think
Oh,
Timo Werner
God,
comes
I
back
was
to
like,
haunt
wait,
Man
what?
City again.
Timo Werner gets redemption for Timo back in the.
Dude, that is awesome. I would love to
That's a
see that.
nice
I
story.
miss that
That's a
man
nice
so
story.
much. Like
You
genuinely.
do?
You got
100%.
Oh,
100%.
Chelsea
I love
wasted
him, but-
that. Chelsea
I-
wasted
Oh, yeah, they
Timo
did.
Werner.
I always stuck up for him because again he was one of those players. He might not have got the end result, but he would run his heart out. Like he would give everything for the
Yeah.
team to try and win that. Anyway, I'm gonna.
I got it.
And he wasn't.
All right,
and
2-1
he wasn't-
Leipzig. Okay, I'm cool with that.
We
Let's
go
do
with
it.
that. We go with that. Good stuff. And then we'll save the Wednesday game for next week because
Correct.
Perfect.
We got Europa. All right, Europa. Here we go.
Europa. Who have you got on Thursday? It's a big
Oh
one, isn't
my
it?
God.
West Ham against AEK Lamlana.
No. Europa League, not Europa Conference. Europa League.
Europa League. Let's have a quick look. What we got? Berlin
Where we
against
going? Where we going?
Barcelona.
Sporting
Hey.
Arsenal.
Oh,
that's-
my
ooh.
God.
Juve Freiburg. That's
Dude.
not bad. United
And
Real
you and
Betis.
Real.
Oh.
Betis. Oh my
Real
God.
Betis. Oh, if
Roma
if
and Real Sociedad.
Roma Sociedad's going to be big.
Oh my God, that's gonna be sick.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I just
Okay,
think
Arsenal. Let's go for it.
Sporting
Sporting
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
I think Arsenal again. Portuguese.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal got enough for that. I think they
3-0.
get a win.
3-0.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Juve Freiburg. I think Juve are in a bit of free fall with the whole, financial.
Yeah,
hoo-has
Juve
again.
are just what's going on?
What's going on there?
Yeah, but they won though. Their last
Yeah,
few games.
they're still
So, I mean,
winning. They're still winning. So
Yeah, they're winning. So I don't know.
Real Betis going to Old Trafford after United just got drubbed.
Jeez. Oh man, go Real, buddy.
Go Real Betis.
Love it.
I'm all
Kick
for
them
the
when they're
Spanish
down,
guys.
do it.
Yeah, get in there and kick 'em.
Pellegrini, what a story if that happens.
Ex-Man City manager.
Oh, hand it to him at home. Oh, yes.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, Manuel. We're all there for you. Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right,
I'm living for it.
Sevilla and
Fenerbahce.
yeah, Fenerbahce. Yeah.
Sevilla got to win that, right? It's Sevilla. They are the perennial Europa League winners,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, they bloody love
nine.
Europa
They
League,
won
don't they?
9, so
They won 9 and 9
They
out
gotta
of the
do
last
something.
11 or something, right? They got to.
Right.
It's like that's their cup.
got to. They got to.
Fine.
Yeah.
Shakhtar Donetsk Feyenoord. Ooh.
That's a tough
I think
game.
that's going to be tight. I think that's going to be a good
tight.
game.
It
1-1.
should be a good game. I think it's a
1-1.
1-1. I think that's a round of 16. Is this the first leg? I think it is, isn't it?
This
It
is the
is,
first
yeah.
leg, correct? Yeah.
So,
I
yeah,
also,
I
I
think-
really like the look of that Roma Sociedad tie. I think that's going to be
1-1.
tasty.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, that's awful. Oh my goodness.
I also reckon that Bayer Leverkusen are probably going to win their game 6-0 or something because who are
Yeah.
Ferenc-
Ferenc,
They're-
yeah.
aren't they a
roasty.
Portuguese team? They're a Portuguese team.
I
Right?
believe you are correct, yeah, but
Yeah.
I think Leverkusen
But Roma-
should be fairly comfortably getting that done.
Roma should win this game
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Roma's doing a lot better in their league than Real Sociedad. So
Mm.
I say 2-2.
Plus,
We'll go 2-2.
I know he's maybe not necessarily the manager he used to be, but I think any contest that involves Jose Mourinho, they've got a dog in the fight. Like the man knows how to win games, whether it's playing ugly or whatever. He can win.
He makes the players think they got skin in a game, right?
100%. 100%.
And Jose is really successful in European competitions, especially the Europa League. So I can see him winning this. But I'm gonna go 2-2. I'm gonna go 2-2.
Okay.
Shall we delve into the Conference League?
So
wait,
let's have a quick
we didn't do Union in Berlin.
Union
Union
Berlin.
Union Saint-Gilloise.
1-0.
I was going to say, I think Berlin will get it done. They're doing really well in the Bundesliga.
I know.
What's going on?
I don't even know what's going on.
Where's that coming
Beats
from?
Beats me.
Well, I reckon that's a 2-0 win. I reckon Leverkusen are 4-0 winners. Roma probably do 2-1.
Oh, okay. You want to go back?
Yeah, I think Roma get that done. Sporting Lisbon, I think they might get a goal, but I reckon Arsenal put 3 past them. I think it's a 3-1 sort of.
I could see that. I could see that.
Juve probably 2-0 win against Freiburg.
Right.
Real Betis turn United over 3-0.
Yeah. It's going to be weird. Oh, my God. Let's go, Real. Come on, Real.
Sevilla, 2-0 Fenerbahce. Probably not much. Fenerbahce may not lay a hand on them.
Maybe.
And then Feyenoord, I reckon, probably just get a 1-0 win at Shakhtar.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tight game.
That's going to be tight, though.
I think so. I really do think that's going to be tight.
1-0. A 1-1. I'm still going to.
Yeah, I'm going to sit a bit more on the fence on that one, but I think that could go anywhere, to be honest.
And then we delve into the Europa Conference League with some.
Here we go.
Here we go.
We have already had a game. AZ Alkmaar beat Lazio.
That shocks 2-1. Me. That shocks
me.
me.
Big time.
Lazio did not lose that game. I can't. I'm shocked right now.
I did not
get that highlight.
I know. There's already a little bit of spice in the Europa Conference League.
Europa Conference League. That's a
Anderlecht Villarreal. That feels like a good game. Like Villarreal, I want to say, weren't they the team that beat United in that Europa League final?
Yeah.
I believe
the one that was it Inter?
The one that Solskjaer got to. It was. I swear it was Villarreal. I swear.
I thought it was Sevilla. I thought it was Sevilla.
Because Villarreal won against Inter Milan.
I'm sure Sevilla beat United. I think Sevilla beat Liverpool. I think Sevilla beat everybody in the Europa.
It probably happened. Yeah. It probably.
I'm pretty sure it was Sevilla.
But no, Villarreal should win this 2-0.
Yeah, Nice should spank Sheriff.
The Champions League sweethearts when they got the result against Real Madrid.
Sheriff Tiraspol. I think who are they? Cypriot? Are they Cypriot or Israeli? I can never quite remember. Sheriff Tiraspol. Sharif Tiraspol. I think they're Cypriot or Cypriot champions, or
I believe you are correct.
Israeli champions.
They're not Turkey.
Don't think so. I think
Nice should be winning. I guess
Nice should be winning that one. Yeah, Nice should definitely.
West Ham, how are you feeling about your game, mate?
I know we'll come back to that one. We'll save.
Okay,
we'll
save
okay.
We'll
save it. FC Basel, Slovan Bratislava.
That's going to be tight.
Yeah,
that's going to be tight.
I think
they're going to win. SL Bratislava are going to win 2-1 though. I think, but it'll be tight.
Okay,
it'll be tight though.
Fiorentina, Sivasspor.
Fiorentina's on a hot streak right now. They should win this 3-0.
Yeah, they're looking good.
No doubt.
Then you got Ghent against Istanbul. Basak.
2-1.
Apologies to teams and fans.
Apologize to all of it.
We are absolutely murdering the names.
We know we're terrible. All right, we know.
Yeah. We know. We know who you are, though. We know who you are. We just don't know your names.
We just don't know how to say who you are. Right. So then we got Lech Poznan against Djurgårdens.
I don't know. Tie 0-0. I don't know.
I'm thinking I'm gonna favor the away team there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, why not? That badge looks nice.
Yeah,
the badge looks nice, and it's not an easy name to say. So for commentators, if you want to get that team to go further, just to make them say it, right?
Hell yeah.
And then we go back to the top. AEK Larnaca against West Ham.
Dude, I mean, shit, we should win 5-0. But I mean, it's just gonna be tight. It depends on what lineup we're gonna have. What's Moyes gonna do? What's the team gonna show up? Is this a home game or is this a away game?
It's an away game.
Away.
You have to travel.
See that we do good traveling. We're not good at home. So,
Okay.
What?
No,
You don't think we're
where
good?
are? No, I'm just trying to work out. So where are they?
No.
Where are
You
they?
know West Ham better than I do, mate. Don't listen to
No,
my
they're
opinions on
in-
West Ham.
Don't
in-
listen to what we're saying. So AEK
No,
Larnaca,
I
they are.
think this team isn't. Aren't they Greek? Is this a Greek team?
That's looking pretty Greek, yeah.
Yeah. So
AEK tends to mean it's Greek. Yeah.
no, you know, now that I think about it, hold on.
Ooh.
No, we're a better home team, maybe.
So
I don't know. We
Cypriot.
stink.
Apologies.
I don't know.
Apologies. AEK Larnaca are Cypriot.
Oh, never mind. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oof.
I'm so sorry.
There you go.
Dang.
I don't know.
It's okay. We already admitted we're terrible in the last
Yeah.
segment.
And a
It's
tiny
fine.
little
You're right.
8,000 capacity stadium. It's going to be heaving. It's going to be hostile. I don't
What?
know.
European
Yeah.
away games always are, mate.
Oh,
They're
European
always
away
yeah.
games. It's not going to be a pretty Premier League flat pitch that you're going to be
Oh,
playing
yeah.
on there.
It's gonna be like a
That can kind of
Nottingham
throw you
Forest
off,
kind
to
of
be
game.
fair.
It's gonna be like a
Yeah,
Nottingham Forest kind of game.
yeah, they are hostile, but like
Oh,
that's
God.
I can't. That's kind of why you need them there. To be fair, I love stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so I think we should win 3-5-0, but honestly, I could see us just winning 2-0. I think we will win. It's just gonna be tight.
I think one of those things. I think especially with like knockout football, like especially in European competitions, I think if you can just get out of the away leg
Right.
with like a narrow win or even like a draw, I think you're happy with that. I think as long as you go into the home leg with like a straightforward job to do, I think you're happy. Like, you know, if you go into the home leg and it's like, well, we're at home, but we're like 4 goals behind, that's like problematic, right? I think if you can go into the home leg with just, okay, that is what we need to do, let's go and get it done. Yeah, I agree. You should be beating these guys. It's just, again, that question of like squad utilization. Oh, that was a big word.
Wow.
I know.
What happened there?
I don't
also,
know. I'm pretty
just,
sure I
just to add
semi-slurred
to
it.
just to add to the fun game there, I just checked the AEK Larnaca. They've got West Ham in the round of 16, leg 1, but on the Monday they have the Cypriot First Division playoff.
Oh,
Is there
so that's
a
some big
decision?
congestion for them. Yeah, that's
Is there a fixture decision that they may have to go?
Yeah, but I mean, if I was them, just like us, we're not doing good in the Premier League, but we're really good in European competitions. With them, they're much better. It seems like in their league. What are they in their league right now?
Their league is finished. They finished second in the table, but there's obviously playoffs to decide who the champions. So they are playing. So that is the second playing fifth.
Oh, so that's
obviously like a playoff to play against Applewell to see who comes champion.
So I guess that's also kind of like, I guess maybe in their eyes, how I guess realistic is it if they throw everything at this game that they could realistically win this competition? Like, obviously they could, like knockout football, you can never write off anyone, but I guess if they'd have to look at it on paper as like, okay, which one are we more likely to win? You would probably say the playoff when they are second placed overall.
So
but I'm fully aware it's not that simple, and I'm sure people much smarter than me will be thinking about this.
You got me freaking out now. Damn.
Now that's a headache for them though. That's a headache for them, big time.
I know, but it's a headache for us because we're not doing good.
This is true. Headaches all round. No one's having a fun time.
No one's having a fun time in that game. But
we're better in European competition.
Yeah.
So
I still think West Ham have a nice trip to Cyprus, get a bit of a suntan, and then come home with a 2-0 win. There you go.
Buzzing.
Order room service.
Happy days.
Happy days for the Hammers, and then come back to the nitty gritty of the game against Aston Villa at home. That's what you want. All right, boys. That's 90 minutes again. Next week, same time, same channel.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. What a show. Again, 90 minutes. Hopefully the flags will be back next time. You'll be out of your darkness retreat. Hopefully.
Oh, you
Hey,
missed my background.
missed
Of
your
course
flags,
we
man.
do.
Missed your
Oh,
flags.
The
appreciate
ever-changing,
that,
the ever-changing West Ham Jets background,
Right.
mate. It's
I expect to see lots of number 12s
I
next
thought
week.
I thought you liked this better.
We did. Love that.
We
love,
just
love the
love
bling.
you, mate.
Love the
End
bling.
of.
We love seeing you. We love spending some time with you. But we do expect to
Yeah.
see a lot of Aaron Rodgers on your wall next week.
Yeah, maybe. I might have to get a jersey if it happens.
Oh, you're gonna have to get a number 12 jersey now. You're gonna have
Oh
to.
damn!
Oh, damn. Boys, this has been great. Love you, boys, and then we'll speak to you same time next week.
Woo!
Bye.